In our opera, we will be using puppets to depict some of the characters. But what is a puppet? Well, they're an object or collection of objects, usually resembling some type of human or animal type figure, that are brought to life through movement by a person called a puppeteer. Puppetry is a very ancient form of entertainment, and it dates all the way back to ancient Greece and Japan. It's so wonderful that we still use it all the time today. From TV shows like Sesame Street and The Muppets, to films like Nightmare Before Christmas or Kubo and the Two Strings, to plays like War Horse, Punch and Judy and The Lion King, puppetry is everywhere. You can even find people making puppetry shows on YouTube. In fact, you've probably been a puppeteer before without even realising it. If you've ever played with toys, given them personalities and made them interact with one another, you've puppeteered them. If you've ever played a video game, controlling the character is also a form of puppeteering. So why do we use puppets? We use puppets because they give us the ability to be creative and imaginative, both in the way that we make them and in the way that we puppeteer them. But we use them for another reason as well. Often, puppets are able to express things that a person may feel they can't say themselves. If any of you saw War Horse, we could all see how tired, sad and lonely that horse was just from the way the puppeteers moved that puppet. There wasn't a real horse on stage, but we felt like there was. So, let's get on to the exciting and fun bit. How do we make puppets? Puppets can be made from anything you can think of. With our project, we're going to make puppets with as many recycled materials as possible. That way, waste becomes art. Some puppets are as simple as a finger or sock puppet, and others are very big and complicated, just like the puppets in War Horse. There are so many ways to make puppets, so I'm going to introduce you to 3 different types of movements that form part of a puppet. This is called the rock, paper, scissors principle. First, rock. A rock is any solid object. For example, a ball, a pencil, or a bar of soap. So how might an object like this move if you wanted to puppeteer it? Does it move along the ground or in the air? Is it fast or slow? Does it roll, jump, swim, or fly? Second is paper. Paper is any flexible object. For example, sheets of paper, tissues, clothes, crisp packets, or plastic bags. Some questions you can ask about these objects are, can it move like an animal? Does it flap like a bird, swim like a fish, or slither like a snake? Which part of it is the head, arms, or legs? Does it produce a sound that's relevant to how it moves, for example, crinkling or swishing of air? Lastly, we have scissors. Scissors are any object with a hinge, like a pair of scissors, a pair of glasses, a hardback book, a lamp, or a compass. Some questions we can ask about these objects are, how does its hinge affect its movement? Does it have legs or arms that help it move? If it falls over, how does it get back up? How would it carry something heavy? Would it lift it or drag it? An example of a puppet with a hinge is this lizard monster puppet that I made. As you can see, her mouth is a hinge, just like a pair of scissors. But of course, I know that if you use scissors, you're going to be very careful, aren't you? You can make puppets from a single object from any of these groups, but many puppets are made from a combination of these 3 different types of movements. Some other important questions to ask yourself when you're creating a puppet are, for example, which part is the head, hand, foot, claw, wing, etc., and how does this affect the way the puppet moves? Where are its eyes and how does it see? Where is its body and how does it breathe? Does it have a mouth to breathe, talk and chew? How large or small can it get? Together, all of you will make puppets for our opera. 4 of the characters will be portrayed with puppets. These characters will be a dog character, a cat character, a bird character, and Brundibar himself, who's human. This is an example of a Brundibar puppet that I've been playing around with. Think about the different ways in which all these creatures might move, behave, and act, and what you might use to make a puppet like this.